Hi everybody. In this video, we're going to be installing the vCenter server into our little environment. So let's get right to it. Before I do that, we could log into our ESXi host. Root and there, and there. And SSH is enabled, of course. And this thing. So, what do I want to do here first? Management network and VM kernel adapter. And what do we have? Management network, VM kernel adapter. Hmm. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I would like to change our. Okay, we don't need this. And 10.192.172.10. That's our DNS server, and that's the same DNS server. So why not lab.local? That's our domain. Lab.local. Because why not? And our DNS servers, domain name, search domain name, routing, prefix. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, we can go ahead and proceed to install our vCenter server on this machine, on this guy. Uh, yeah. So we are going to go to our vCenter server ISO, and on Windows 10 we can just double click that. It'll mount it automatically for us here. And we want to go to UI installer, Win32, and we have the installer right there. So we want to install, and we are deploying external platform controller has been deprecated. Okay, good. And we accept. And here we put in the fully qualified domain of our ESXi host, which is here. If you decided not to set up DNS, you can just put in your IP address of the host there, username, and password. Root, and this right there. Would you like to accept this certificate? Yes, I would. So VMware vCenter server, I'm just going to leave it at that. And we want a root password for our vCenter server. So let's see here. Should be good. And we go to next. Select deployment size. So up to 10 hosts and up to 100 VMs. Tiny. Default. What is this? Increase storage size if you want larger VMDK allocated to seat stats, events, alarm tasks, support. Wait a minute. Tiny needs a ton of storage. Okay, well, we have it. We have 10 terabytes of storage, so we can do large. Whoa, that's a lot. And what about this? Yeah, no. I think for our purposes, default will be just fine. It's an extra terabyte. Okay. So we'll go next. Yeah. Which data store? We're gonna put this guy. I initially wanted to put it in data store 1 so it can live on the NVMe drive, but since it needs more space, I think thin disk mode. Yeah, let's do thin disk mode, and we'll be installing it on our 3 terabyte SSD data store. And we go next. The network will be this network because that's our management network. We didn't set up any other networking yet. Static. Fully qualified domain name will be. What did we have over here? We set up a vCenter, that lab.local. Let me just double check that. And this here. And that there. So we have DNS. We need DNS. And we have forward lookup zones. We set this guy up as vCenter. Yep, that's right. And .51 address. So we have vCenter .lab.local. And IP address will be 10.192.172.51. Subnet mask or prefix list. Okay, so it's going to be a 24. And the default gateway will be .1. DNS servers. Comma separated, so that's going to be 10 and 11. And we have that as default. So next, so target tiny default 3 terabyte thin VM network static IP address. We are good to go. Everything looks good. So we'll finish. So we'll wait for that to deploy. I'll just go ahead, pause the video, and then when action will be needed, I'll continue the video. Okay, so I got this error during the installation. It says there was a network connection issue, so let me download this log. Okay, yeah. So much for that, but what happened? Okay, so failed to send file. Please check network connection. Hmm. Okay, looks like we have a network connectivity issue. Maybe I'm connected through wireless to that box, so maybe there was a hiccup. I know this says wired connection, but it's actually bridged to my wireless network card, so that doesn't that's not actually wired connection. So um, I guess we can try it again, and if uh, if it doesn't work the second time, we will move the ISO image closer and try there. So let's try that. Installer, install, and deploy. I accept the license agreement, and ESXi. Oh, we have our settings already. So if we try again, yep. Okay, so we're setting the root password for, this is root. Okay, so the root is going to be here, and tiny default. And we want enable thin disk mode, and we want 3 TB SSD, and VM network static. All the settings are here. Let me double check. Target, VMs, tiny, default, then VM network, IP address, DNS servers, finish. Let's see how this goes. So I'm gonna pause the video until something happens. Actually, while that's running, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna open up the command prompt, and we'll just ping this guy. Not pint, ping, -t. So we'll see if there's a network interruption, if it fails again. So I'm pausing, and if something happens, I'll resume recording. Okay, so this time There was no problem during the stage 1 deployment, so we can go ahead and proceed to stage 2. And stage 2 setup. vCenter configuration. Sync time with ESXi hosts. I'll be using NTP servers later. Yeah, I'll put those in later. So we'll enable SSH access. Single sign-on. So that's going to be the default. Okay, so take a note that this is not the same thing as your Active Directory domain. So we're going to be using this vSphere.local as default, and we'll be using a administrator and the password. Next. I do not want to wish the program at this time, but thank you for the offer. Next. So we have assign a static IP, vCenter.lab.local. Everything here looks good. Everything here looks great. Finish. Click OK. And I'm gonna go ahead and pause this right here and continue the recording as soon as something happens that needs action. Okay, so it finished and it says that it is successful, so we can go ahead and log into it now. Looks good. Okay. We are going to get this done in the next video. So, for now, we're finished with this steps.